Ocala Real Estate 2026 Real Estate Outlook. That's what we're going to cover today. What is happening in Ocala Real Estate right now? One thing I know is that interest rates are the lowest they've been in 3+ years. We're in the lower end, upper fives, lower sixes, and bouncing around. But one thing we need to know is that is extremely helpful. Extremely helpful. We have to know that really does matter when you're talking about affordability in the real estate market. That's one thing. We're going to talk about whether it's a good time to, if you're thinking about selling this year or think about buying, what's the recommendation there? It's not always a great time to buy and sell. I'm not that typical realtor or broker. I think it's important to tell the truth, and it's not about me. It's about serving our clients for sure. So we're going to cover that today. But what we're going to do is we're really going to look at the MLS. Let's see what's happening right now. We're going to do a little bit of a comparison on what we're seeing in real estate. So I'm doing this live. So we're going to let's look at the Marion County Ocala market. And then that obviously includes Bellevue, Denellen. The northern part of the villages is part of that, right around County Road 42. Also a lot of obviously the horse farms, areas like Marion Oaks, includes that, Summerfield. These are all part of the mix here. So we're looking at 4,600 homes have sold over the last 6 months in Marion County. So let's start with that. Let's see, charts. We're going to look at this. Let's look at the number of sold properties. That's what we're going to look at first. We're going to do it by month. So we're going to start there. Sales number of, and by month. And you're going to see a lot of consistency, but 645 homes sold in the month of January 2026. That was a little bit higher than 2025, a little bit lower than 2024, much higher than 2023. It's been really consistent. January over the last 6 years, we look at 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and 26. Not too much of a variation, right? Within 9% variation mostly is what we're seeing from the high to the low. That's something to pay attention to. If you look at December of last year, 2025, 936 was the highest December we've had in 5 years. If you look at the November, it was one of the lower ones. And then October, it was actually the highest. So we're bouncing around. It's like every other month. It's good. It's okay. Not so good. Great. So it's like it's bouncing around. A lot of inconsistency here. But what we do know is let's also take a look at the inventory number. So we're going to look at inventory. Let's look at number of new listings that are hitting the marketplace in Marion County, right? In the Ocala market. This will help us determine what's happening, what direction is good direction, even for investors. 1,300 homes came on the market in January, new to the market homes. That's less than what we saw January of 2025, but more than any other year. December, also pretty light, but still bigger than 21, 22. We're seeing more inventory in the marketplace, right? And bottom line is we're seeing more inventory hit the marketplace. Affordability is still a thing. So if you're buying, I think there's a buying opportunity here for homes that have been sitting on the market for more than, let's say, 45 days. If you're noticing days on market's a little bit more, if there's a new construction home, an inventory home that's been sitting there for a while, I think there's an opportunity to get at least a 5 to 10% discount off of that list price. So as a buyer, I would encourage people to make some offers. Investors obviously will make sometimes ridiculous offers, but ridiculous offers sometimes get approved and accepted. But investors, if you have to find that right property that is cash flowing, that does make sense. We also do rentals, by the way, so you can call me at this number, 352-572-3796. Now, you're a seller right now. You're selling a property. Okay. You've got to be really, really competitive in the marketplace, because if you're not competitive, you're obviously not going to sell. You're not going to get showings. So it's really crucial at this time that you are making sure that you are competitive versus your competition. So what we are going to look at, let's take a look at all the homes that are on the market right now in Marion County. And I think that'll help you understand what's happening in and around the county in Florida, obviously Marion County, Ocala, Florida. Okay, 4,600 homes on the market. Let's go back. I want to look at map. We're going to map this so you can see. Okay, so as we zoom in, we're going to start looking at where the pockets are. So most of the homes that are on the market are going to be in the southern area of the county. Why? On the east side of the county, you've got the Ocala National Forest, which is all over here. That's between Ocala and Daytona. Lots of forest here. So there are some homes available, but not much. Not a lot of home. First of all, very little building is going on in the forest because there's not that many. There's lots out there, but there's not as many as there are in the southwest portion over here. But 1,104 properties on the market in this southwest corridor. Lots of new construction. This is where most of the new construction homes are. But also so if you're in this area, I think you have to watch out because you are competing against new construction. If you're trying to sell your home that might be 5, 10, 15, 20 plus years old, which it does exist, you're in direct competition with new construction. So that is something to watch out for. Marion Oaks, pretty much the same thing, 648 homes. And that's a lot. That's a lot of homes that are on the market. Also direct competition with new construction. So these two areas, I think I've seen some really good deals in these areas because there's more inventory and you're going against new construction there for sure. This is the Rainbow Springs, Denellen area, as like Rainbow Park, Rolling Hills. This area has like larger parcels, a little bit more affordable here too, because it's a little bit further away from the Ocala market. In Denellen the same way. A lot of people think this is an up and coming area because of prices. The most affordable stuff tends to be a little bit further out here. And then, you've got inside of town, inside of Ocala itself, 477 homes. I always think location, when you think about buying, a lot of people will buy new construction and newer, and they're always looking for condition, which I think is good. The best is actually location, right? Location. And I would recommend, looking at even this area because you're close proximity to everything, but also look at condition, right? Price and condition, because location is there. If we can get price and condition along with location, it's winner, chicken dinner. And then areas down here, you're looking at, towards the Villages area, which is down here. You're looking at Summerfield and, some of the areas out here, some of the retirement areas as well, Stonecrest and Del Webb, Spruce Creek up here is Spruce Creek South as well. So my advice is pay attention to the inventory right now. If we are doing, we're probably middle of the year and you're about 4,000 or below, I think that's a mark that if we can get to that point, then it starts swinging a little bit closer to a seller market, but still nothing compared to what we saw 4 or 5 years ago, where inventory was below 1,000, right? So good time to buy, right? And affordability is going to matter and change as interest rates are probably going to get lower in the latter part of this year into third and fourth quarters, right? I feel like there's real opportunity out there for buyers to find something maybe not as affordable as what we saw in 2020, 2019, but still better than what we saw the last couple of years. If you have questions, that's my number right there. If you found this video to be constructive, please like it. And if you haven't subscribed, that would be great. Okay. All right. Happy Saturday.